4 of the General Assembly shall have the powers to declare membership of an applicant where it is considered that such membership would be detrimental to the aims and the purpose and the activities of the KOSA and the scheme. Members who are current on their due payments shall be classified into active if you are current, as approved, and if you are not, then the other side, dormant. So only active members shall participate in the programs of the scheme. A member shall be entitled to his or her opinion without any influence from any member. So in terms of leaving the scheme, in the event of death, the body of Komao, permanent incapacitation, the body of Komao, failure to serve for at least 3 consecutive months without a clear explanation. If the executive committee may, by resolution passed at a meeting thereof, terminate or suspend the membership of any member, which is in the opinion that his conduct was prejudicial to the interests of the scheme, provided that the individual member, this is law, or committee member, as the case may be, shall have the right to be heard by a selected committee before his final decision is made. This person has a right to appeal. Withdrawals, let's move on. A member is not permitted to withdraw from the savings scheme if he or she is still a member of the savings scheme. A person can withdraw from the saving if he or she so wishes to leave after saving for a minimum period of 1 year. Because after 1 year, the executive was going to declare the interest, has going to declare the dividends, they are going to declare what? At that time, if you want to leave, you can leave. But in the middle of the year, you have to tie your belt, tighten your belt until the end. Okay? So a member may choose to voluntarily withdraw from the fund for personal or financial reasons. Upon quitting, the following shall apply. 1. Notification. You must notify us in writing via an email or letter to the scheme management stating that you intend to quit. And a minimum notice of 1 month shall apply. Okay? 2. At the point of leaving, 40% of the savings shall be refunded and claimed in writing. And a letter shall be addressed to the chairperson, who shall convene an executive meeting to that effect. Why are we giving you 40%, not 100%? When you are saving, the association is running and is incurring costs, not so. It's incurring costs. So at the point of giving, you cannot get reimbursed 100% because in the course of the year, the association was running and spending. So for us, we can afford to refund your 40% and you walk away. Let's move on. If you want to rejoin, you will again apply and we shall give you a waiting period so that we try to search and find out why you left in the first instance and what are your intentions of coming back, and we'll give you a waiting period of 6 months. So in that month, we shall be processing and investigating the circumstances surrounding your departure and the circumstances that do surround your coming back. And the other thing, we shall also charge you some restatement fee of 20,000 as you are coming back. Move on. Election of office bearers. I think these ones are the usual things. How do you elect? So the executive committee shall be done Annually, the election of the executive shall be done and in an annual general meeting. The election shall be presented over by an independent person, and that person shall not be eligible for being voted into an office. The election shall also be done by show of hands, or even a ballot, depending on what executive shall have said, or even the membership. The election shall be held every 2 years. So that means the tenure of office of the executive members is 2 years. The person is eligible for election. The person eligible for election shall only by a member of this association should have served within a period of not less than 6 months. For you to be eligible to stand, at least you shall be a member of the association, and you should have moved for 6 months of good saving without defaulting. In that way, that's when you can be able to inbox others and remain them to pay. They can do it because they pay. Okay? So, the accounts of the scheme, so all the transactions of the scheme shall be done through the account of the scheme in the bank. Spending every penny at source is limited to the amount that the General Assembly shall approve. The account shall be opened in the Central Bank or any other bank appointed by the General Assembly. The signatories to the account shall be 3 people, the chairperson, the treasury, and then the General Secretary. The mandate of signing shall be determined by the General Assembly. The chairperson and the treasurer shall account for all the resources and the transactions of the scheme. The welfare scheme may appoint an independent auditor to do the auditing of the books of accounts. Loaning, which is the last section. All members are entitled to get loans from the association as long as they are active members. The interest on the loan obtained shall be 1% per month. If it is too much, your advisors. If it is too little, it is your scheme. So we are charging 1% per month, and that translates into 12% per year. Okay? So you are advisors. So the loan period shall not exceed 1 year. You can give a loan of 3 months, 2 weeks, but not more than 1 year. So for a member to offer to get this loan, you should have said that it's 6 months. We don't want you to come today and tomorrow you want us to give you a loan. Okay? Because we don't know your seriousness. Okay? The other thing, each member shall have 2 guarantors who are active members of the association, and in the event that the borrower fails to meet their obligation, the guarantors shall be liable or obliged to clear the loan from their savings. So for somebody to guarantee you must have a hefty saving, so that we leverage in case of your failure to behave very well in front of people. Okay, so in the event that you fail to meet your loan obligations in terms of amount and time, you will be liable for a surcharge of 5% of the installment. This is also to scare you from defaulting. The amount of money to be loaned to a member shall also depend on the availability of funds, the amount of savings you have, the loan guarantors you have, your character and history, or the character of this and history of the borrower, the reason for borrowing, and or the nature of the business you are trying to invest your money in, or as the case may be, any other factor may apply. But at least when we are giving out loans, 2 million shillings shall stay on the account. We don't want to run a bankrupt scheme. So the member shall also fill a loan application. This administrative loanable amount shall not exceed the terms of the savings. Administrative, all these are administrative. So you go to the management and administration of the scheme. So these are your leaders. We need only 5 chairperson, vice, in case the chairperson is not around, treasurer, the general secretary, publicity, and information secretary. The duties of the executive committee are there, move. These are their duties, their usual duties. Then the duties of cabinet, because cabinet has got to exercise an oversight role of the welfare scheme to ensure that your money is not abused by the executive committee. So these are the roles. Then the duties of the chairperson continue, administrative, deputy to deputize, the duties of the treasurer, the duties of the general secretary, in that order. Then the duties of publicity and secretary information, meeting procedures, activities. Move on. Okay. So wait a bit, general meetings. Every year, in the month of December, the committee shall have to convene an annual general assembly to declare the dividends, and the financial report they have done today shall also be part of the preparation. The chairperson is the chair of the meeting. 7 days notice. All members must be available for the meeting, and the quorum shall not be more than 50% of the entire membership. So in the event of emergency, of course, the chairman of the association shall have the authority to convene such meetings, at least within 48 hours notice, those are 2 days. Sources of funds, where do we get this money? So, donations, we have membership fees and monthly contribution. Any loan that we may get from government or any other organization or association, the funds that are generated from official duties, then the groups that have accounts in any commercial bank agreed upon by the members, and the signature shall be the chairperson, who shall be the principal secretary, the treasurer. I think I said that. Any money obtained by the group shall be used only for the association activities. For any check to be issued shall be at least 2 of the above signatories to sign on the check. The executive committee of the scheme shall work within the budget, the work plan that will be approved by the General Assembly. The external auditor, you jump that one, you point. The cabinet will also have a role to assist the General Assembly to appoint an auditor to look at your books. And finally, the investment. If the scheme can invest in any amount, can invest any amount of money that is available to it, to any organization, with approval of KOSA cabinet and the General Assembly, you can go ahead and invest this money in treasury bills, or in any other fixed deposit account, or in any other way in the interest of the organization. The scheme property, of course, any property, movable or immovable, shall be handled by the executive as approved by the general meeting. The bylaws, you can make any amendments, and in disciplinary cases, the executive takes the lead. They first suspend you, there is an inquiry, then there is a room for you to appeal. In case you want this thing to be amended, you contact the General Secretary for him to invite the General Assembly to consider any amendment of this kind of guideline to the scheme. Move on. Okay, members, of course, interested in having changes in the scheme guidelines, that's your procedure. The proposed amendments are also submitted in the time, they don't wait for the general meeting. The amendments shall also be effected upon receiving the 2/3 majority of the membership. And if you want to dissolve the association or the scheme, should be done by the 3/4 of the active members at any general meeting. And the resolution of the scheme shall give instructions for the disposal of any assets held by the scheme at the time of resolution. And any other liability or losses shall be shared equally amongst members. These are appendices for members who will be taking an oath of office. With these so many words which I have tried to summarize but have failed, and I beg for your consideration and apology, I beg to submit that this document is considered and approved as a welfare scheme for KOSA. Thank you so much. Can I have updates from the welfare desk, and in case the updates are not there, somebody can run there and give me updates.
We are set.
If you are set, members, I beg that with your wisdom, all the issues I talked about are so many, write them somewhere. We first have something in the stomach. And then after, we shall come back and discuss these things. Maybe I changed a bit some of the agenda items. When you look at our agenda, we had a review of the minutes of the previous meeting. That I also changed it in the after lunch. I wanted to have these important documents when we still have energies, because I knew the afternoon is very tricky after you have had a delicious meal. So we shall have it in the afternoon. And I want to recognize, before we break off for lunch, the presence of Reverend Father Joseph Amanyire Bikongotero Ajeri, the parish priest of Kitagwenda parish, and in his capacity is representing the bishop of Fort Portal Diocese. He's our chief guest. You are welcome. Without wasting time, I want to request my cabinet secretary to lead the chief guest to the table, followed by the head teacher, and some of us shall also follow that order. So, cabinet secretary, can you usher in our chief guest, followed by the head teacher and members of cabinet? I am reminded that the priest has gone to pray. Reverend Father Joseph, bless the food which we are going to have. Thank you so much.